Hey guys, you're here with Quicksand Rakes, and today we're going to be taking a look at some helpful character configuration settings in Final Fantasy XIV. So without further ado, let's sink in. Alright guys, so we're going to jump into the character configuration settings. If you go and you click Escape or System, and you open up your configuration settings, which is also shortcutted to K, we're going to go tab by tab. If we were going to go through every single setting, this might be a lot like reading the dictionary, but we're going to not go through that pain. And we're going to go through important settings or ones you might not notice that are helpful. So we're going to start out on the Control Settings tab, and the first section is Movement Settings. Standard type is what is naturally selected, and that moves your character around. If you backpedal, your guy starts taking steps back. But if we go inside there and we switch it to Legacy and click Apply, whenever I go backward, it will flip my character to spin around. So I will run the direction I press regardless of where my camera is facing. That might be helpful in a dungeon for some mechanics to get out of the way easier so you don't backpedal when you try and move out of the way. I prefer the other system, especially if I'm playing a ranged class like the Bard. If you start shooting the mob and then run back, your guy does some really strange looking animations as he goes, as opposed to backpedaling while he shoots, and that bothers me. Next one we're going to take a look at, in that same section all the way towards the bottom, is a slide bar that says third person camera angle. Move this out of the way here. But it starts out way low, and you can see it shifts the angle of my camera to put my guy closer to the top of the screen and closer to the bottom. So you can slide this adjustment here to make it to where your guy is not blocking your view quite as much, or he's centered out on the screen. Next we'll move to the Target tab. A couple helpful ones in here. Switch target circle to target select. We're going to come back to that one, but that is an important one. Target type, ignoring depth and cone, that affects it when you click tab to target next closest target on whether or not you are going to go in a cone from your guy, or if it is going to target stuff farther away more often, and how it cycles. That's something you'll have to play with, figure out which one you like more. I prefer cone. Next tab we're going to move to is the Character tab. This is going to be a tab more dealing with the aesthetics of things. It has in here your idle animation setting. The slide bar tells you how many seconds until you enter that, so you can have it wait a little bit of time, or it can drop down to 0 and do it nearly instantly. Now this idle animation goes into effect if you open up your emotes, and the special tab you have a change pose button, and I can change based upon my race. They have different options of how I want my guy to stand while I'm idle. And then that idle animation bar, if I move it up to say 5 seconds, once I move I will stand normal, and then 5 seconds later I will move into my idle animation. And you can have that happen as soon as you would like and select which stance you like more. This also applies when your weapon is drawn, that I will enter an idle animation for my class. There is only one of these options, so if I select change pose while my weapon is drawn, I will just cycle between the normal stance and the idle stance. You also have an auto sheath weapon when not in battle, which you can check or turn off, and that also has a speed bar on it. The next tab is the mouse tab. Naturally on this tab you have these mouse wheel settings. Scroll up, scroll down, and they have scroll up and down with Control, Alt, and Shift, and normally they begin out as not assigned. These are some actually really cool settings that are very helpful if you get used to it. But if you set scroll up and down, for example, to cycle enemies nearest to farthest, that will become like I'm using tab, and by holding Control and sliding my wheel, it will flip between targets. If you set one of these to scroll up and down through your party list, it is very helpful for healers or for someone like a bard who has some buffs that go to allies. I do not have a party because I'm lonely, but we're going to use my friendly chicken Bobo here. And when you scroll through, it will cycle between myself and party members, and you will see that target rank. Now if you have this set, that setting we were talking about earlier in the Target tab, switch target circle to target select and apply. When I cycle through, it will target him and you will see that there is no ring. Now the real cool thing about this with the target ring as opposed to select is if I have an enemy targeted and then I use that scroll to switch over to an ally and activate an ability on them, it will cast it and immediately return my target to that enemy, which is very nice for healers or support classes in any way to be able to switch back and forth like that. The other really useful one that I like is to set one of these to scroll up and down through your enemy list. If we have it set to our enemy list and we want to get a couple mobs on us, you can see my enemy list in the top right. It works the same way if you're playing tank, where you can scroll to the other enemy and you can see the ring on them there. Once I activate a taunt, it switches back to my primary target. Great for picking up ads that pop up midway. You can just scroll over to them, taunt, and it will automatically switch you back to the primary target. The next tab we're going to be at is on the item settings. There's only one section of this, but some of them can be quite helpful. Your inventory interface begins out on normal. So when I open up my inventory, you can see it is split into different tabs. Your options in here though is you can expand it and make it 2 tabs at a time, or what I prefer is to just open it all up and you can see your entire inventory at the same time. Another helpful setting in here is in sort method. You automatically are on fill tabs in order, but if you switch it to sort items into sections based on category and hit apply, once you right click in your inventory and click sort, it will then section them off, which might be helpful if you're trying to locate a particular crafting material or your dyes in glamour prisms or something like that. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the UI settings tab, and on the general part, most of these are normal settings that we're not going to get into, but down at the bottom you have a section called recommendations here, and you can show those upon login or area change, and then you have play guide upon login and area change. Shutting these off will eliminate the annoying pop-ups on your screen when you log in the game, showing you tutorials and the recommendations of things to do. If you like those, great. If not, that's how you remove them and get your screen to stop popping a whole bunch of stuff up. Now over to the HUD tab. This one is very similar in the sense with the UI where there's not a lot in here that you will necessarily want to change out the gate, but the one area that is somewhat helpful is the hide duty list during instanced duty. Having that checked will mean it will hide all of your quests once I enter a dungeon or a trial so that they're not flooding that whole side. And the other one is hide duty list during non-instanced duty. This will hide your quest list when you are doing a fate or a leave quest or anything open world. Next up is the party list. This is more again for aesthetics, or it can be helpful if you are using that party targeting system. And the party list sorting. When you are a tank, you can change it to display tanks, and then DPS, and then healer, or healer, and then tank, and then DPS. And you can do that for each role. So a healer might want tanks to be next to the list so that they can easily switch to them to pop a heal. Now we'll go ahead and move on to display name settings. All of these are fairly standard, changing when it displays your name, if it's your whole name, the titles, your hit point bar, all that. One thing that you might not fully have noticed is that all of the colors are customizable. If you click the title of it, own, or companions, and so on, you can change the color scheme. So if you are coming from a game that has a different color scheme and you want it to kind of feel natural, you are able to do that. Now we'll go ahead and move on to the hotbar settings. Useful things inside of here would be hide unassigned slots so that you can have it look invisible in the areas where you do not currently have abilities. And then the sharing tab. You can check mark on shared hotbars which ones you want shared across your gear sets. For example, I have hotbars 4 and 5 shared across my gear sets. When I switch to my paladin, they remain, but the main 3 switch over to my paladin's abilities, and that goes across all of my different gear sets. The last section we have is the log window settings. Again, with this one, there's not a whole lot of special things inside of here. The ones that I personally don't like is display world name in chat log when player is on another server. When you use the duty finder and you group up, it just puts way too much in the chat window when people talk, placing their server name in there. And for the most part, I don't care what server they're on. And then the other helpful things in here is the notification sounds. I believe naturally the tell notifications are on, so it will play a sound effect whenever you receive a tell, but you can check it for anything you'd like. If you do the duty finder and you have a party members talking a lot, you can place a setting on that to alert you when a new message is up there, and you can change those tones for the different things that you have activated on. And we are going to add just a few of the system configuration settings. Most of these obviously will be dependent on your computer, your devices, and what your preferences are, but a few that might be helpful is in the display settings, all the way at the bottom, is a slider called character lighting. If you are someone who's trying to look at your glamour or trying to take a screenshot, you can adjust that character lighting, and that might make it a little bit nicer for you. The second one would be sound settings. You can disable playing music when you are mounted. The mounted music might be something people prefer to have off. And the last one would just be theme settings, very basic, but if you were interested in finding it quickly, it's in the system configuration, and you can switch your theme from dark to light, taking note that you must log in again for these changes to take effect. Alright guys, well there you go. Just a quick video to hopefully fix some settings that might have been annoying you or things that you didn't know you had the ability to do in Final Fantasy XIV. Thanks for watching. See you next time.